Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a review of the Citizen Promaster Tough wristwatch. This just came out in 2018 and it comes in a couple different iterations. It comes with a green dial, a black dial, and a black dial and a bracelet. I'll get into those in a minute. On this review I thought I'd talk about my impressions after wearing it for a couple of weeks every day, going on my walks and doing all the things that I do. And also I read tons of reviews and comments from people on Amazon and YouTube videos, and I'm hoping to put everything together along with my impressions on this one video so a person can come and learn as much as they can about the watch. I gotta say right off the bat, I really like this watch a lot. I loved wearing it every day. I'm going to continue to wear it every day in rotation with my other watches. I have a couple Citizen watches, maybe 4 or 5 of them, divers, aeronautic, and a field watch similar to this. And I'm really impressed with the Echo Drive on how reliable they are. I've had about 20 Citizen watches through the years, and I've never had one have a problem. I just haven't. They're that reliable. They also come with a 5-year warranty, most of them, and if you register it online, you get the 6-year warranty, and that's if you buy from an authorized dealer. At this price point, right around $325 or so, with the normal 25% discount you can get from a lot of authorized dealers, and usually they rotate and have different sales between the different brands they carry. But usually you can pick it up for 25% off. And at that price, to get the warranty and get it from an authorized dealer, you're not getting a fake. I think it's money well spent. It's just a great deal. So I think these normally go for around $425. The one with the bracelet goes for $495. And with the 25%, sometimes you can get a coupon too from an authorized dealer, like I do from Zales sometimes, or K's or whatever. It's just a really good deal for what you're getting. Now this watch, you might say, well, it's just a plain basic watch. Why is it about $325 or so? Well, there's a couple cool things that are built into this watch. So let's go through the specs first, and then we'll go into the other stuff. So this watch is a 42 millimeter diameter watch. As you can tell, it's like a field type watch. It has the time, the day, and the date. The date, and it has the second hand. All the hands have lume on it, as does the indices. So very legible day or night. Getting to the specs. So it's a 42 diameter, so not too large and not too small. So it kind of ticks all the boxes on sizes. So almost anybody could wear this watch unless you have very small wrists. And that's what I'm going to say about this watch, is this is an almost do anything watch. If you don't know what to wear, you can just grab the watch and go, and it'll handle water, shocks, anti-magnetism. It's all in the name, the coating, everything about it is going to be tough. So you could be jumping in the water, jumping out of planes, going to a dinner party or whatever, and you could use the watch. You never have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about battery replacement or that it's going to die on you or anything like that. So that's what's really the beauty about the watch. You can just grab it and go. This could be one watch that you own, and you won't have a need for anything else unless you need a lot of complications like chronographs, and then you'd be getting something else. Now, the other colors that it comes with, there's a green face version, stainless case, and a Cordura strap like this one. There's also a black face version with a red second hand on stainless steel with a bracelet. So you got an all stainless steel bracelet, all stainless steel case. Again, that one's going to be crazy waterproof because you could bring it anywhere. The stainless steel isn't going to rust or anything as long as you rinse it off. And then there is the green version that has a stainless steel case, and it has an identical strap except green to match the face like this one does. And this is the third version that is IP coated, black all the way around, and the buckle as well is IP coated. We're going to talk about the strap in a minute. And I wanted a more military looking watch. So this one here is going to be more military field looking watch, being all black, a little bit covert, a little bit to wear when you're doing just about anything that you could wear a black watch with. The other versions that have a stainless steel case, that's almost like a crossover into a dress watch. Not that this couldn't be worn with a black suit, you could see it slipping out from under your cuff and stuff. I think it's still going to work. But the stainless steel versions are a little bit more dressy, a little bit more blingy with the stainless steel flashing. The buckle is going to be stainless steel. And of course the bracelet will all be a shiny stainless steel. But what they did on this case is it's it's mostly a brushed finish. You're not going to have a lot of glossy because of its intended purposes. It's going to be a little more surreptitious. Surreptitious. There we go. And so the black, I really like it. I have a lot of stainless steel watches, so this is the one that I picked. And I just saw that they came out with, I don't know if it was after these first came out, but there's a chronograph version as well. And that's going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. So if you like chronographs, they got a chronograph Tough now, which is pretty good. All right, so getting back to the dimensions, we have 10.7 millimeters thick. And as you can see, it's a really thin watch. So because of that, it sits close to the wrist and is extremely comfortable. At 3.5 ounces, it's fairly light for an all stainless steel watch. As you know, a lot of divers, even moderately sized ones like the Omega Seamaster, you're looking at about 5.5 ounces with the bracelet. And so dive watches, 5-6 ounces, aeronautic watches are about 5 ounces or so. So this is downright lightweight at 3.5 ounces. And that's one of the reasons why it's comfortable as well. It's not sitting too high, the weight isn't a lot, and also you got those curved lugs that help really cinch it down to your wrist. And it is extremely comfortable. I really enjoy it. You don't get any wrist fatigue from it. The lug to lug is 22 millimeters, and that is like one of the most generic lug to lug distances. It's one you're going to find in a lot of watches. So there are a crazy amount of 22 millimeter straps, bands, bracelets, you name it, NATOs, NATO straps, Zulu straps, whatever you want, you can get for this watch. So that makes it really nice. And also the pinholes in the lugs are a little bit towards the end, so you got plenty of room for thicker straps, as you can see right here. The lug-to-lug distance is a fairly long 49 millimeters. So the distance from here to here is 49 millimeters. That's getting a little bit on the long side for a medium-sized watch. So it's going to wear a little bit larger than it is. And it's going to look, that makes it look really well on large wrists, like mine are 7.5, and it looks great. You're going to see in a minute. And it's going to fit on from small to pretty large. So again, it's going to be like a watch that's going to fit a lot of people. You don't have to worry about looking too big or too small, because you got a moderately 42 millimeter diameter on the watch. The crystal is sapphire, so that's really nice. That's where the money is coming in, and you're paying a little bit more than just a generic Echo Drive watch where you're going to find $150 to $200. You're paying more money, but you're getting a lot for that money. And the sapphire crystal is one of them. It's anti-reflective, it's flat, it's not prone to be chipped. As you can see right here, it is just a hair proud. It's probably a thickness of a hair above the bezel, just barely above it. So it's going to be highly unlikely you're ever going to chip it on the side and scrape it along something. So I would say it's fairly well protected. It's not sunken in, but it's still not going to be one like my Skyhawk. I had a regular Skyhawk that I wore every day for a couple of years, and that thing got scratched to crap, and it got chipped eventually on the edge because it sat so high up. This one's not going to be a problem like that. So that makes it very visible with minimal reflections. It's got that beautiful black dial. So I mentioned the case is IP. It's iron plated black, and it's also duratect. That's Citizen's proprietary titanium hardened coating, which makes it about 5 times more scratch resistant than the bare stainless steel. In addition to that, with the IP together, I'm guessing that they do the IP first and into the metal, make it black, and then they do the titanium coating on top of that, just like they do on the stainless. So that means it's going to be that black is going to stay on there a while because it's protected by the titanium. So let's take a look at the back, and you can see there's no case back. What? Yeah, there's no case back. This is a monobloc design. They call monocoque, whatever it is, design. And that means that they had to take this thing and mill all the outside. Then they had to mill through the top to get the steel out of the inside. And that's not easy, so that adds to the cost as well. So it's a very reasonable price for a monobloc design. On the back of the watch, you have the normal inscriptions, movement in Japan, got that globe, the Echo Drive globe logo. Got the serial number, the movement number, WR 200 bar, that's 200 meters water resistant, sapphire crystal. Mentions a lot of stuff on the watch in the back. And if you can see the case, there's some really nice curved areas there. This is, I don't know, it's like a bead blasted type finish. It's not brushed and it's not glossy. So it doesn't reflect the light, it makes it nice. Again, kind of that stealthy look, which I like on some of my watches. It's going to be stealthy, might as well make it stealthy, you know? Not have it too blingy. Here we have the signed crown. The crown is really well done. It doesn't stick out farther than it has to. It's got beautiful crown guards, as you can see, well protected. This is very easy to unscrew. It's got some deep grooves with a little bit of sharpness to it. Not enough to that you're going to feel it on the wrist or anything, but just enough to grab it very easily. And you're going to have to unscrew it maybe 6 times a year or something like that. You're going to have to unscrew it for daylight savings time if you have that where you live twice a year. And then there's 4 months that only have 30 days, so you're going to have to fix the date so it reads the first at the proper time. Or it should be the first, it's going to read the 31st. And then while you're at it, you can adjust the time to atomic clock if that's what you need to do, because the movement is a very good 15 plus or minus seconds per month. So worst case scenario, it's going to be a minute off every 4 months. So you might have to touch up the time when you open it up to do those other things. This is what I would do. And what happens then is you could set it to the atomic clock. I don't like being a minute off, so I'm going to adjust it. But I find that these are mostly way better than that worst case scenario, plus or minus 15 seconds. My experience, you're going to get, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds a month. So maybe once a year you're going to be a minute off or something. So you almost never have to adjust that, which is another reason why it's going to be a super tough watch, because you're not going to have to keep unscrewing the crown a million times like on Rolexes. If you notice through the years, the screws are all the threads are all gone. And they have to replace that because every time you pick it up, it's an automatic. You got to set the time again, and you can see that kind of effect. All right, so this has 200 meter water resistance. So with 200 meter water resistance, you're not going to have a problem with water. Whatever you're walking, somebody throws you in the pool, you jump in the water, you swim across the river, or lake. Nighttime operations in the water is not going to be a problem. You can scuba dive, skin dive, snorkel, do whatever you want in the ocean. 200 meter water resistance, you can do scuba diving. So that's a big deal. Now, water resistance isn't what you think. I'm going to do there's so many misconceptions about water resistance. I hear it almost every single day that people have it wrong about water resistance. Not everybody, obviously, but there is so much misconceptions and myths about water resistance. They think that if it says 100 meters, you can go 300 and whatever feet underwater. It's not true, because that's static. Static water pressure is the 100 meters or 200. Once you move your arms through the water, that very much that magnifies the water pressure, because water is not compressible, so it really pushes in trying to get into the watch, just those little movements. So that's the reason why, if you look at your manual on water resistance on any of these watches, you're going to see a little chart with the things you can do. And if you notice, 50 meters, you can't go down 150 feet. With 50 meters, you could barely swim in it. If you're going to swim, you can't even move your wrist really. It's not, you don't feel comfortable, swimming underwater, or what do you call it? Water skiing. Forget about water skiing, man. With 50 meters, you hit that water, you're probably putting pressures of hundreds of meters of water resistance on that watch. So anyway, I won't go off on that now, but just with 200 meters, you're good for almost anything, So that's excellent. It also is shock resistant. I don't know how close it is to the G-Shocks, but it is getting there on shock resistance. You could drop this thing and bang it around, and you're not going to worry about that. The hands are going to be flopping off, or that things are going to be breaking inside. Everything is like contained and cushioned and set with close tolerances. It's also anti-magnetic to 4,800 amperes per meter, and that's pretty high. And that brings me to the date. Might as well talk about the date complication. So the date, that's one of the complaints. I mentioned I'm going to talk about the complaints that people have and the cons, and the date is one of them. So what I did was I have the date as a pro and a con. So it is a con in a way, because unless you're looking straight down on it, as you can tell right here, it says 4. It's actually the 24 because of the shadow. So it's got a very tiny narrow window that barely sees the date. But if you look at other high anti-magnetic watches, they either don't have a date at all. like the Rolex Milgauss, or they have a really tiny one because that window is a way for magnetism to get down into the mechanism, because the solar panel and everything else that's on a dial is going to be anti-magnetic, and the entire monoblock case keeps it anti-magnetic. The only way for magnetism to get through at that level is going to be through that date window opening. So I'm sure they did something to the wheel or make it something so it's going to be less of a problem. But so many people, I think, want to date. That's one of the things I use all the time, that they wanted it on there with the anti-magnetic. So I make that as a pro for the anti-magnetism on that. So as we take a look at the face, we can see you could already see the green. Look at that green glowing from just the light coming in by a window. And just the light coming in the window is charging up that fluorescence like crazy. It's got crazy good lume. As you can tell, it's all green. But look at that minute hand. That's blue. So that's really cool. They did blue lume on the minute hand just for a different color. And then the second hand, which I really like having lume in my second hand. I don't know, I wake up in the middle of the night and look at the time. I love seeing that second hand going around, or in the movie theater or whatever. So the arrow, the tip of the arrow has a nice bit of lume on it that works really well. There are a couple different levels on this watch. You got 4 levels, believe it or not, working in here. You got the Sapphire level, and just below it, you've got the 60-second or 60-minute chapter ring. Very well done. Look at the nice script. It's small but very legible. You got the larger indexes at the 5-minute or 5-second mark. Every 10 seconds or minute, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. You got the Citizen logo there right below the 12. You got the Echo Drive symbol there. Water resistance 200 meters. And that probably says Movement Japan on the bottom. So the next level down is the indices ring, and they're all applied, and there's a really nice stainless steel border around them, which I like to see. I don't like lume just hanging out there painted. So then the next level is where the hands are set into and where the Citizen logo is, and the date wheel is the 4th level. So it gives you that really nice 3-dimensional look to it, which I really like. All right, let's see. Did I mention that the sapphire crystal is anti-reflective? I don't know how thick it is, but it's fairly thick for the 200-meter water resistance, so that's going to make it a little bit more impact resistance than having a really thin synthetic sapphire crystal. All right, let's talk about that strap. So this is another one of the complaints. They find it very uncomfortable. So knowing that it was uncomfortable, and the reason why they're having their problem is because it's stiff. It's the Cordura nylon, which is one of the most rugged fabrics you can get. It's not waterproof, but you get it wet, you just dry it out, and it's going to get back dry again. So that Cordura nylon is embedded and bonded to a polyurethane strap, which I find are the most comfortable straps I've ever found of the rubber type straps. You got pure rubber and silicone and all different type of plastic like rubber that they've made. But polyurethane, for years I thought it was silicone. I said, oh, look at this soft silicone strap. And it turned out it was polyurethane. So I totally changed my mind on the new polyurethanes and how rugged and supple and non-sticky and non-linty and non-smelly compared to other rubber type straps. I really fell in love with them, and I first found them on my Luminox watches. That's how I found out about it. So sure enough, this one is polyurethane as well. So as you can see, it's got a nice textured polyurethane back, plenty of holes. This strap is long, and I have 5 holes left over on my 7.5-inch wrist. So this will, I measured it out, and it looks like it's going to fit easily 8.25-inch wrist and still have a hole left over. So just a really nice design strap. It's got 2 keepers. One of the keepers is in this one place so it doesn't move. You don't have to worry about that one. And then this one you can adjust, and what I do is if the strap is ever too long, I put this up here more, and then it won't stick out on the side. So really nice with the 2 keepers. The strap, just like my Luminox straps, takes a few seconds to take on and off. It's not an issue at all, so it's just really nice. So one of the complaints was it was too stiff, because what's happening is the Cordura nylon is trying to straighten it out. So if you just put it on your wrist like that, you're going to have hot spots where it touches your wrist and won't bend around it, and that tends to try to move the watch, and the pressure of putting it on right here is going to make a hot spot where it's trying to stay straight. So just like I have done on other straps, what I did was, as soon as I got, even before I put it on, well, I put it on just to see what they're saying, and yeah, it's going to be straight on the edge where your wrist curves, and it's going to cause like a hot spot. So what I did right away, as soon as I got the watch, because I went like this, and it was off the watch already, because I was trying it on another strap and I was doing some experiments. So I recommend, if you can, take it off. If not, just be really careful with the spring bar. You don't put too much pressure. So what I did was, when it was off, it was a lot easier, but I went like this and I really bent it right over here for this whole area. And I bent it almost touching each other, and I did it on either side, made a natural curve. And as soon as I put it on my wrist, voila. There was no problem whatsoever with that. We'll do that in a minute. Sorry I didn't do a wristwatch check, but we're going to, better late than never. So this is my Luminox Color Mark 3150. I'll be doing a review of this soon on my channel as well. Really nice, like this watch. This is one that I often take on my walks, because let's say I'm taking a walk now. Just like other reviewers have mentioned, you could use it for timing almost anything. So I just bring it right around to the minute hand. I just passed it by. It's hard to look through this and look through the camera. Anyway, there you go. So you just set it right there, and then as you take your walk or do anything, it's going to start the countdown timer. And look at that, I walked a mile and a half when it gets to 30. All stainless steel construction, stainless steel back, stainless steel screwed on crown, screwed on back. Doesn't have a sapphire crystal, but it's nice otherwise. And here's that polyurethane straps I was talking about. Really nice. We'll do a review on this. One of my favorite watches. I like it better than the carbonite or carbon cases that they have. All right, so continuing on with the review. Let's see. So that's the strap. That was the complaint. Not an issue for me. Very comfortable, very light. That, you know, that's why 3.5 ounces overall. The lightweight strap really helps with that. If this was on a bracelet, the bracelet version of this is going to be about, it's probably going to be 2.5 ounces heavier. So you're probably looking at around, I don't know, 5.4, I'm just guessing around 5.4 ounces, something like that. Yeah, substantially heavier. The other complaint is the buckle. They say it's large, obnoxious, and digs into the wrist. Well, it is large, and one of the reasons why, let me grab my other watch, which I did a review of recently. It's another Promaster, and the buckle, what they did was they came out with these buckles when they came out in 2018 with the Promaster Tough series and the other Promasters, and as you can tell here, it's the same buckle. This is the stainless steel version. Let me take it off of the watch part here so you can take a look. As you can see here, and this is my very large watch. This is their Depth Diver Promaster Aqualand. I did a review of this. You like this watch, watch my review. It's a long, very detailed review on this watch. Anyway, it's the identical buckle as on this one. So very, very large 6 ounce, over 6 ounce watch has the same buckle as this little 3.5 ounce watch. And I guess that they're putting it across the whole line that has 22 millimeter straps. And so it is a little bit big for this watch. So that's one of the complaints. I think they should have, for the smaller Promasters, I think they should have had a more streamlined buckle to go with it. It's not quite a con, I don't mind it. It's just that, you know, for finesse purposes, or for the stainless steel one that has, you know, a little dressier, that would have been a little bit better. As you can see, all this metal wasn't required. But it is milled, it is nice. This one is also iron plated and duratect. So this one isn't going to be chipped or whatever. It's just an amazing tough buckle as well. The other complaint is that there's a hot spot. It hurts the wrist, and here's the reason why. Right at this part right here, and this could be a con, but if you can see how it has sort of, it's not quite sharp, you can't cut anything with it, but it does come to like a point, as you can see right there. And that part does touch the wrist if you have it down too tight. I don't wear my watches really tight, so that's not pushing in, but that's probably what's happening. They have it too tight, and that is gonna be a hot spot right there. But I'm not putting it at a con. For me, it doesn't affect me at all. It's really not there. All right, let's see what else I can talk about. Talked about the different versions. Scuba diving, I think I covered all of that. We're going to wrap this up soon. Let us go through the, I talked about the warranty, 5-year warranty, and then 6 years if you fill your warranty online, they'll give you an extra year. So 6 years warranty, there's hardly any products that you're going to get 6-year warranty. So that's, kudos to Citizen. You know why they do that? Because they know that their watches are so reliable, or else they couldn't afford to do it. None of mine has ever broken, so that's the reason. Whenever you see long-term warranties like that, it's because the product is just that good that they don't usually have to honor it. So the pros and the cons. So the pros are a lot. The monobloc case is just a game changer. That's amazing that they're able to do that for this price point. The small date is a pro. If you look at it from an anti-magnetic, you work in places with high magnetism, you can enjoy that small date, that you're not going to have your watch go bonkers on you. Lightweight for a stainless steel watch, it's just it just disappears. I'm used to wearing 4 or 5 ounce watches. If you wear 2 ounce Casios or something, or G-Shocks, this might feel a little bit heavy, but not really. It's just a great pro that it's the lightweight. It's rugged, reliable, and all those things I mentioned makes the watch a pro, that no matter what you do to it, pretty much, you're going to not worry about it breaking or not working, and reliable longevity. They're saying that everything that's in here, including the lumen, everything, is going to last the life of the watch. It's like 25 years. 25 years before you'd have to replace that battery. After 20 years, you still have 80% of the Echo Drive left. The Echo Drive means it's solar powered, if I haven't mentioned that. A lot of people think it's a capacitor, but it's really a high-tech Citizen's lithium battery, rechargeable battery, that have been lasting that long. They've measured them after 20 years, and they still have 80% of their capacity. So instead of getting your 5 or 6 months, which this watch will have after it's fully charged, maybe you're down to 4.5 months or something. So it's still perfectly usable and fine. They're thinking, past 25 years. So, and no maintenance. You don't have to go in for oiling and the seals and all that stuff. You're going to be good to go for a long time. Now, the seal here, I'm not sure if you dive all the time. I guess you'd have to check it out, make sure it's water tested. They could replace if there's a rubber seal in there. I'm not sure. But basically, it's going to be maintenance free for like forever, and at that point it might be banged up enough that you get another one. So just comfortable, lightweight, easy to read, legible. Those are all the pros. The cons, well, the small date. If you don't care about the magnetism, that date's going to seem small, and you're giving up something for that small date. And I do agree, in optimal lighting conditions, not bad, but other than that, it's going to be hard to see the date. Cost. A lot of people think the cost is a con. I really don't. I put it in there just because so many people are thinking they want to spend a $150 watch for an Echo Drive without realizing the Sapphire and everything else. So I brought it up, but to me it's not a con at all. Other people, they might think it is. And the buckle, to me it's not a con, but for a lot of people it might be a con just because of the size and the and that little hotspot that I mentioned. All right, so let's see if we can do, we'll do my wrist shot here. We'll throw it on the wrist. We'll see what it looks like on my 7.5-inch wrist. I'm really lucky. I don't have round wrists. Mine are kind of flat across the top, which is 60 millimeters. I can handle a 56 millimeter watch. But as you can see here, because the lug-to-lug width is 49 millimeters, it wears a little bit large. So, but that's what it looks like there. See the buckles, not that bad. It doesn't hurt anything when you put it down. You barely feel it. And that black Cordura nylon goes really well with the look of the watch. So there you have it, and it's as you can see, it's kind of thin. All right, let's do a loom shot before we wrap this up. It's getting a little bit long. Really sorry. Hope you got a cup of coffee. It went 29 minutes. I just have so much to say because I've watched so many reviews, and I'm trying to include everything I learned about it, which is missing from some. But don't get me wrong, there's some great watch reviewers on YouTube, and I'm sure you've seen them as well. And some of my favorites are Urban Gentry and Jory Goodman of the Time Teller channel, and so many more I can't remember. They all do great work. I love them, especially. They really help me to save money by bringing up, going through the watch really detailed like that. It really helps me to decide whether I'm going to get a watch or not. So I'm going to hit it sorry about that. Look at that, 2 seconds, and you could already see, you could already, it doesn't take much. All right, let's close a little bit more. As you can see, it glows like crazy. And you can see the second hand with the indices, with the super luminova is what they call Citizen. I haven't mentioned it. A lot of people don't realize that it's super luminova. They used to have luminova, and now it's super luminova. And let's do the second hand, the minute hand. So you can see the minute hand is a different color. That's the blue. Gorgeous. I'm a lume junkie, and this one does not disappoint. All right, so let's wrap that up. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Make some comments if you have the watch. And if you were thinking at all that you like the watch, I wouldn't hesitate, because I am overjoyed, and everything about it is much better than I thought it was going to be. All right. Well, that's it for now. Let's wrap it up. Take your watches on your next adventure, and we'll catch you next time on Wristwatch Obsession. Take care.